Well, Rangers have won the Scottish Premiership title and now they're on course to make it through to the last 8 in a major European competition. Their unbeaten record in Europe hasn't been compromised yet, but last night, well, it came a little bit too close for comfort. Charlie Adams with me. Charlie, what did you make of that Rangers performance?
I think if you break it down into two halves, I think you could see that the first 20 minutes, first half really, what Rangers were up against it. We knew that Slavia were going to be a good side and, had some good results, especially against Leicester over 2 legs. But it took probably Rangers 45 minutes to get going. It was, but Slavia put so much pressure on Rangers. They'd done what Rangers, we'd expect probably what Rangers do to European teams that they've done before. High press, put Rangers under pressure, and Rangers struggled to get out their half. But the manager regrouped, made a little slight tinker in the tactics in the second half, and putting Hadji into the number 10 position and putting Kent higher up with Morelos. And I think the game changed. Stanchu was a key player for Slavia, and he was scored a wonderful goal. And after about 60 minutes, he died a death because of the intensity they played it. And then Rangers started to grow into the game, and they in the end they could have got a win out of it. But you end up for how Rangers play and what goes on, you end up having a world class save from your goalkeeper to keep the tie level, and it's a great scoreline to take back to Ibrox.
Yeah, Alan McGregor, that save. Some are calling it the best save ever. What are your thoughts?
It's world class. That's as good as I could explain it. We talk about age and how he's performed since he's come into the football club, not just this season because Rangers have won the title. I think he's been one of the standout players in the last 3 years since the manager come in. He's kept his side in big games and big moments, European games and also firm games. And then moments like last night is why you just wonder, why is there not a contract signed already? Obviously, the manager comes out after the game and says that they're in discussions, which is great news for both parties. But I think going back to the save, it's like you say, it's world class, and there's not many goalkeepers. I was fortunate to have done a bit of co-coms for the game, and I was just waiting for the net to bulge and Rangers to lose 2-1. But it was a great performance in the end, and a great draw to take back to Ibrox with a away goal.
James Tavernier, he was missed last night, but a decent performance from Nathan Patterson, and there's talk of him making the Euros.
I'm all for pushing that. I was, speaking the other day, and people saying any surprises, and I think he could be a surprise. I think he's technically very good. He's a young 19-year-old kid, can get up and down, good delivery. Defensively, is sound. You've seen that last night with some of his blocks and, his positional sense. He got done a couple of times with a long ball, and then he realised that he has to edge over a little bit to protect himself, to not get done with that. And I think he's a dark horse to get into the squad. I think he's got all the attributes, to be a top right back. And the only thing for him is it's the club captain that's in front of him. And that's the difficult thing in the Rangers team at the moment. But he's getting his opportunity because of the injury. And I'd definitely like to see him in the next Scotland squad when it's announced.
Yeah, Steven Gerrard has spoken about how, he does think that he's got huge potential, and he is being proved right with him, isn't he?
No, absolutely. I think, he come onto the scene and then he had obviously the issue that he had with the party and things like that. But that's a learning curve. You have a manager then who, puts him on second half against Antwerp, scores within 16 seconds, plays in the game that wins in the championship, and then all of a sudden plays away in Europe against a very good Slavia Prague team. So he's learning all the time, and what's gone before is it's a learning curve from him. As long as he learns from that and he takes it on board, he's got good management staff, good players, senior players around him to help him. And I think he's definitely one for the future. And like to see him in the Scotland squad for the next games and get an opportunity to see what his potential is.
Slavia Prague to Ibrox next for the second leg, Charlie. They're going to be feeling pretty confident, Rangers, aren't they, going into this one?
They will be, because of how they finished the game in the first leg. And, Rangers are obviously at home scoring barrel load of goals, over two goals a game at home, and very, very difficult opponents. The Slavia Prague team will come and sit in at Ibrox the same as they did at Leicester. They end up scoring 2 goals away at Leicester, which is not easy. So the Rangers know they need to be on the mettle. There's obviously no game for them at the weekend, so they'll be able to prepare, recover from this game, and it's a week until the next game. So they'll be well tuned. They'll be ready to go. And I would fancy Rangers strongly. They're scoring over 2 goals a game at Ibrox this season, and if they can get the goals and get into the next round, last 8. You never know where it could take you.
It's been a phenomenal season, and there have been so many standout players, but I am going to put you on the spot, Charlie. Who's your Rangers player of the year?
Well, if you talk about numbers and things like that, you've got to say James Tavernier. I think as a right back, 17 goals and double figure assists. It's phenomenal for what he has achieved. I would like to, as an old player and as a teammate, I'd like to see Stephen Davis, I think at 35 years of age, to come in and control the midfield and control games as he has at times. He's definitely up there, but I would just edge it to Tavernier.
All right, let's talk about the Glasgow derby that's coming up, because it's a really emotive one for players and for fans. With everything that's gone on, do you think the game should go ahead, Charlie?
Absolutely. I think there's still 6 games to go. Obviously, they split after this as well, so they have to play each other again. But the game should go ahead. It's not just because it's an Old Firm game, the game should be cancelled. I just think that the clubs can only keep expressing what they want to do, and that is keep fans away from the stadium, stay safe, don't get together. And I heard somebody saying the other day, if it wasn't a pandemic, it could have been a lot worse. The situation that happened the other day in George Square. I think because it was a pandemic, it was only Rangers supporters there. So we have to take the positives from that and say that there was no issues in that side of it. And the game should go ahead. It's one of the biggest games in the world. Everybody will be tuned in, and everybody will be looking to see what reaction Celtic, come up against. And also we're looking to see, will Celtic respect the Guard of Honour, which I think they should. They should take it on the chin. They've been well and truly beaten this season, and as a mark of respect, you should respect your opponent. But it will be hard, and sometimes that you have to go through that disappointment in life to sit back and watch your opponents win, to then go forward again. And listen, it's a big game for Celtic, but also it's a big game for Rangers, because they'll be looking to keep that unbeaten run going.